Welcome to my video review of the Ulefone Be X. This is a budget orientated Android handset. This one's running 4.4 KitKat. You have a 4.5-inch screen. This is just the box contents now. This is a 2-pin USB charger, that's a European one. Micro USB cable. You get an additional screen protector here to add to the phone. There seems to be one pre-fitted anyway, and just a small user manual. I just have the back cover off now and we're checking out the connections inside. This is the battery that is removable. This is rated to 1900 milliamps per hour. I have a micro SD in here, and we have two SIM card slots, a mini and a normal SIM card slot here. In the power saving settings you get quite a few options here. It's quite a lot more than you normally expect, so we'll click into the power saving mode. It gives you an estimation of the remaining battery capacity, but there are quite a lot of options to pick here, so you can tick and untick data, Wi-Fi, vibration. It's very customizable actually for the power saving, so that's quite a nice feature to have. These are a few shots I took outside just to test the camera to see how it was performing. This one is the normal capture mode, and we can see, if we zoom in a bit here, we've lost a little bit of detail in the sky area, which isn't particularly surprising. It was quite a contrasty bright day. Now going to this one is the HDR capture that I did, and you can see it's done a better job of retaining the details in the sky, holding the highlights. So that's quite a useful feature to have. It does certainly help with very harsh lighting. You just have to make sure you hold the camera steady because it takes multiple shots. A few test shots that I took. This one's a close-up one of an e-cigarette. It does a pretty good job actually for a camera in this price range. It's not mind-blowing, but it does a fairly decent exposure, and the colour balance is generally on target. The details are quite good as well, and I'd be fairly happy with the camera for a phone in this price range. Obviously you're not expecting iPhone quality or resolution, but it's certainly more than good enough for a bit of social media and the odd small print. I wouldn't be unhappy with the phone at all in that regard. Okay, so I've run a few benchmark tests on the phone just to see how it stacks up. This one is Geekbench 3. It's just a processor benchmark just to get an idea how that performs, and it actually did really well. I'm quite surprised it did as well as it did. Way quicker than something like the Moto G 3rd generation or the Sony E4. This relies more on the multi-core performance, and it stacks up very well indeed. Single core not so much. This processor, the MTK, it really relies on the multi-threading, which isn't a problem because many apps and games and that will use that performance, but it stacks up really well in terms of the actual speed of the processor. Summing up on the Ulefone, after testing this for a while, I'm quite happy with the phone. It's quite a lot quicker than I was expecting, and the screen is quite nice too. It's about 244 pixels per inch, which is reasonably good. It's not ultra high resolution, but there's no obvious pixelation, and moving around apps and switching from screen to screen is nice and speedy, no slowdown. It feels quite a fast phone day-to-day use, leaving aside the synthetics or benchmarks. Couple of smaller points. The battery life is okay, it's not bad, it's not exceptional. You'd probably get a day out of it. I'd like a little bit more battery capacity in that. There was another small point. There's no notification light, and that's something which could be quite handy to have. So that's another sort of minus. On the positive side, nice and quick, good screen, the sound was quite good, and the camera's not bad either. So really, for the price point that we're looking at for a phone of this class, I think it does really well actually, and I'm quite surprised. I've enjoyed using it. It's a nice size, it's not too big, and it does the job very nicely indeed. So if you're looking for a dual SIM phone that's not going to break the bank, that has a decent display and feels fairly fast in use, this is certainly worth a look.